Alright, I want to do a quick video. I've carried the same pocket knife since 2015. It's the Kershaw Emerson CQC-6K. It's a pretty normal knife. Why do I choose to carry this? It is a cheap knife. I think when I got it, they were like 20 bucks. I was given it free. Not by anybody that cares. I want to give away a pistol for him. So the CQC-6K is made by Kershaw and designed by Emerson. So I've carried this every day since 2015. I've worked in a factory and used it quite regularly to open boxes, things of that nature. I've worked construction with it, and I've used it to cut drywall, to do everything. I've carried a knife for a very long time, and this is probably the knife that I've consecutively carried the longest. Selling points is the G10 handle on one side, the other side being stainless. The big selling point for most people and why most folks would choose this is the wave feature. So with it in my pocket, reach in and quickly deploy it with no spring or anything, which makes it legal pretty much everywhere. You can draw it, have it snap out, and bring it up in a regular grip, or you can draw it and kind of curl your hand around it and come up in a reverse edge. Some things that people don't like is I've been told, oh, well, it's a frame lock or a liner lock, whatever you want to call it. I'm not much of a knife guy. And I don't like that because it takes two hands to close. Well, that's not true. I've performed that motion right there against my pant leg since I was 10. I've always liked this type of knife more. There's another one-handed closing method. Push in on the frame lock, start the blade with your index, close, voila. I like it because it's a fairly regular knife. Nobody looks really twice at it. If I would change anything, I would prefer this pocket clip to be black. You can go buy a black pocket clip, but that wouldn't really change the exposed portion of the knife. For a second on Kershaw, top-notch folks. This knife I have replaced the pocket clip on. I have gotten new screws. One thing that does happen, because I'm really rough, is I get a loose pocket clip sometimes. Right now I need to go ahead and retighten. But I have received all kinds of spare parts from Kershaw at no cost to me. It does have a thumb disc that can be changed out for other shapes. I have changed thumb disc. I have changed pocket clips, all for free. Contact Kershaw. Say, hey Kershaw, this is the knife I have. This is what's going on. For those of you that are big-time knife fans, this comes in two kinds of steel. One has got some stupid long name and is like Chinese shit. That's what this is. The other one is D2 steel. The D2 is supposed to be more gooder. I don't know. This sharpens fairly easy. It dulls out after a while, and I sharpen it again. I just use a regular stone from Walmart. Frankly, I used my gun oil to wet the stone. I don't even do anything fancy. The other cool thing about it is that it is available in a trainer. I did receive both of these at the same time in that giveaway. They're the exact same size. So the cool thing about that is when I did manage to get to a class, that's not something I get to do a lot. I got to put my actual carry knife to the test. This pocket clip is actually quite a bit stiffer than the one on my live blade, just because I don't use this one as much. But when I did get to go to a class, I got to use, honest to goodness, my real pocket knife, the exact same design, to see if it was feasible the way I actually carry. You know, I think it works pretty well. The same knife since 2015. Things that I dislike about it is basically the color. I guess if I cared that much, I could rattle can it. The knife has been exceptional. It's just been exceptional, and I had beat the shit out of it. For me, this is the only blade I carry. So in that regard, I want it to be a great everyday knife to cut, pry, use as a screwdriver sometimes. I've used it to level up sheetrock before screwing it in place. I've used it to open boxes, to cut boxes, to whittle. Whatever you want to do with a pocket knife, this does all the standard pocket knife stuff, with the addition of being easier to deploy for defense if you want to. It's never going to be a clinch pick knife. You know, it's never going to excel in some sort of weird case made thing so that you can. There are knives for that, but this isn't that. This is a regular everyday carry knife that you could probably have better odds of getting out of your pocket in a shit show if you really needed to. And with the trainer blade, that's something you can practice. So as far as pocket knives go, I don't plan to ever move away from this knife. This particular example is like 7 years old, and I think I'm going to replace it soon. You can actually go get yourself a replacement blade from Kershaw. I think there's a small charge for that. But for me, this has been outstanding. I usually use the wave to open it, but when you want to, you can use that thumb disc. But for me, it's a great knife. It works one-handed. It cuts everything I need it to cut. And when I tell you I've beat the shit out of this knife, like, I've literally hit it with a hammer to cut something that was way, way past what I should be asking from it. It's where I grew up. This is a fairly normal appearance. This is not crazy. In fact, when you see someone without this, it's odd. If someone doesn't have a pocket knife, it strikes people as weird. Where I live now, I've never gotten a single raised eyebrow, ever. So one thing is actually the pocket clip on this one. The logo is completely gone. This is a replacement pocket clip that I received and put on my trainer version. But you can see that pocket clip does have an Emerson logo on it. So if you're super duper worried about telegraphing that you're packing your Beretta or whatever, okay, there's a logo, but you already have a pocket clip. So you can get replacement parts for this, not just from Kershaw. There's aftermarket upgrade crap from Emerson. So you can go to Emerson, you can get a different pocket clip, a different colored pocket clip. That stuff's expensive, and I've never really felt the need. I wish it was not silver, but that's not a big deal. I do disassemble it completely once every 6 months, and I scrub it with a toothbrush, and I put it back together. Drop a couple drops of oil in it, and usually 2 days later I regret that because it's full of shit. Pocket lint, grass and grime and crap. So it's just a tremendous knife. It's not super heavy. It's not super thick. There are other versions of the same Kershaw Emerson combination that have different blade shapes if you don't like the drop point or clip point or whatever the fuck this blade is. Not a knife guy. I use the damn thing. Some people are not gun people. They look at it and they go, Glock, it'll work. I'm not a knife guy. I don't look at it and go, ooh, I need the Emerson. I get the Emerson design and it's fairly cheap. So for me, I absolutely cannot come up with a better knife. Yeah, it's so 6034 is the model number, and then if you can even see it, there is a little bit left of a logo underneath my thumb stud. So, Emerson Kershaw for the everyday knife carrier, for the person who lives a pretty normal real life, but also wants that blade to be able to fill in a role in defense if needed. This is in no way my first go-to defensive tool. If I have to use this, we're in a bad way. But this will work a hell of a lot better with the wave feature getting into use than having a case knife that I have to get into my pocket and then open. So, terrific knife. Last I knew, there was an option coming for a Kydex sheath that would self-deploy the knife. That doesn't work for me. If it works for you, awesome, but I think there are other alternatives that are better for that. It's not a kitchen knife. It's not a machete. It isn't a super duper tactical hang off my vest knife. It isn't a clinch pick. It's not handcrafted. It is mass produced and not garbage, which, as far as I'm concerned, fits what I need in a knife perfectly. And I think that for easily 90% of the people out there, if you're looking for a name brand mass produced knife with absolutely outstanding value and features, you cannot do better than the Kershaw Emerson CQC-6K in CRV023, I don't know, steel. They might be getting rid of that one and sticking with D2 now. I'm not sure. Hey, by the way, all of my live stuff is black, and all of my trainer stuff is blue. But if you wanted to take that a step further, I think they have the Chinesium steel in a black coating as well. So, like I said, this is the most in-depth experience level of any of my videos. I've got more time with this knife than I've got time with my pistol, time with my shotguns, maybe not the shotguns, with any particular model. Just constant use. Constant. I've used it for everything. And as long as I sharpen it and clean it once every 6 months, once every year, fantastic knife. If someone was looking for a pocket knife and I wanted to gift them something that was not sentimental but was for real use, I would never gift anything but this. For sentimental, I'd maybe go with a case knife. I would maybe go with a buck knife. I would maybe go with an old timer if I was looking to gift them something to gut or field dress, But for a regular old knife that you're gonna cut, pry, all kinds of shit. This video has been 14 minutes and 50 seconds of me just telling you I beat the hell out of this thing and it's awesome and it works for carry and can work for defense. I've gotten it out when someone was not wanting to let me and was on top of me more than once. Cecil Birch class, go if you haven't. I can't wait to go again.